Welcome back to What in the Word IHM. I'm John Michael, your host. In this episode, we will be discussing the spiritual gift of understanding. This is our fourth episode on a specific spiritual gift, and as we're getting deep into this, let's go over what the seven spiritual gifts are. We have wisdom, understanding, counsel, fortitude, knowledge, piety, and fear of the Lord. If we had the mind of God, we would be able to look at these gifts on a continuum, but in our finite human understanding, we like to break these down so that we get deeper into the content and the concepts. So far, we have discussed fear of the Lord, piety, and fortitude, and we'll just keep on going. To delve deeper into the spiritual gift of understanding, I think we have to have at least a baseline philosophical grasp. And the basic idea I can give you is that God is the unmoved mover. That means God has always existed. And because something can't come from nothing, all of existence flows from God. So to even exist today, we participate in the substance of God, or the matter and being of God. And our perfection in a spiritual sense and even a physical sense is tied directly in how well we conform to that being of God and how well we follow what we are called to. But that would mean all of creation and everything that we actually interact with in our life is participating in God as well. Even a rock is participating in God. You could even say that Satan participates in God, but Satan participates in God in about as well a way as a burnt pizza does. Just something to ponder on. Understanding is a compound word with two parts. The first being under, and the second word being standing. So we can literally say that it's what's underneath, what's beneath. For instance, you can be standing on a floor, and you know that floor has a foundation, and there's girders holding it up. But unless you're the architect or the builder or a contractor that's on the job, you don't necessarily physically know, you don't literally understand how that floor is holding you up, nor do you need to. So you can know that there's a floor beneath you and not understand its inner workings. So we might not need to be an architect, and we're certainly not the architect of all existence, but we can see into the mind of God and all of creation through this spiritual gift, which we should continue to grow in. And that might mean expanding ourselves and opening ourselves up to the fact that we aren't all knowing, but we can know more through God. At this point in our conversation, I am actually going to look at a piece of paper because I had promised a Latin lesson in this conversation about understanding. Well, guess what? I get to make another apology. The word understanding doesn't actually come from Latin, so there's no Latin roots for me to break down for you. But I can say that in Latin, the word comprehendere means to take together, to unite, include, and seize. So that's to literally seize an idea, comprehendere. And then our word understanding actually comes from a old English word, understandan, which means to understand or grasp or comprehend an idea. So there you go. The more you know. And if I can work this out, I'll get that star to go across, the more you know, with a little twinkle sound. So no deep Latin conversation for you today, but I hope that scratches the itch for someone interested in some etymology today. Or is it entomology? You be the judge. So this has been our conversation on the spiritual gift of understanding. And I realize that it might have been somewhat unclear, so we can all actually pray for the next spiritual gift that we'll be discussing, which is wisdom. The spiritual gift of wisdom helps us to judge what is important, meaningful, and purposeful in our lives, how we can best spend our time, what we should read, who we should entertain, etc., etc., etc. So we'll go with that next week. Hope this conversation has been as helpful for you as it has been for me, and I look forward to seeing you next week. God bless. John Michael out.